I'm going to be talking to you about the very best way Hello and welcome to another edition of The Power Principles. I'm Dax Moy and today I'm going to be talking to you about the very best way for you to set goals so that you actually achieve them for a change. Now, when many people think about goals, they generally tend to think about goals as being this abstract target, this idea, something that you aim for and you just go on your merry way and you chase that target. Let me tell you, that's the quickest way to assure failure. When you're setting your goals, you've got to do this with some thought. And the thought process can really be narrowed down to 5 simple yet highly effective stages. Stage 1, know exactly what you're after. Know exactly what you're setting your goal on. So it's not enough to be vague in general. What we're looking for is for you to be meaningfully specific about exactly what you want. For example, we're not saying I want to lose a few pounds or I want to get fit. We're saying I want to weigh exactly 121 pounds butt naked on the scales by July the 1st, 2007. Okay, can you see the difference? There's a massive difference between saying, hey, I'd like to get fit, I'd like to lose weight, and saying exactly what you want. So stage 1, know exactly what you want and be clear about it. Stage 2, know exactly why you want it. I've got to tell you, most people are liars. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but most people are actually liars. They tell themselves lies about the things they want and don't want in their lives. And because of this, they spend a lot of time, or they waste a lot of time, not achieving the things that they truly want. So we need to know exactly why you want the thing you want. Now, the system I use with my clients is called peeling the onion. Peeling the onion is very simple. Just like the layers of an onion itself, when you ask yourself, what do I want? Let's say I want to lose 20 pounds. Ask yourself the question, why? Why do I want to lose it? Once you answer that question, you'll come to something like, I feel fat and overweight, for example. Why? Why does that bother me? Keep peeling away the onion, keep peeling away down to the why. When you get to the very base level of why, where you can't answer it any deeper, that is your true reason, that's your true why. And there's a lot of power in that. Now, a lot of people get really uncomfortable with this process. Say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to investigate kind of the deeper side of myself. That's a big mistake. When you investigate the deeper side of yourself and you actually understand exactly why you want the thing you want, the chances of you getting it are extremely high. So know exactly why you want it. Step number 3, know the price. For every single thing that you want, there's a price. Okay, if you want to buy a car, there's going to be a price to it, isn't there? You've got to go into the shop and you've got to hand over the check. There's a price to pay. If you want fitness, if you want health, if you want a better relationship, all of these things cost something. You've got to pay it. Know the price in advance. If you're on a fitness goal at the moment and you want to get really fit and really healthy and lose lots of fat, then there might be a price of joining a gym, there might be a price of buying new clothing, but there also might be other prices. We're not just talking financial here. Maybe there's going to be the price of having to give up your lunchtime down at the pub with your friends. Maybe there's going to be having to give up a certain type of food or a certain group of foods that you really, really enjoy for a period of time. Okay, there is a price. So know the price in advance. That way you're not shocked and that way you're not tripped up every single time it comes to pay it. Okay? Number 3, be willing to pay the price. Be willing to pay the price. Many people go through the first couple of stages. They know what they want, they know why they want it, they know what the price is, then they say, do you know, I'm not really willing to pay that. I'm not willing to sacrifice these areas of my life. So you've got to be willing to pay that price. And for many people, it's really a case of having to understand that you are going to maybe have to put up with some short-term displeasure, but for a long-term pleasure in return. Okay? Or you can take on the short-term pleasure. You can eat that cake and you can go to the pub and you can drink that bottle of wine. Okay, there's short-term pleasures, but you know that in the long term that's going to result in a pain for you. Okay, if you're honest and you're willing to pay the price, you will get fantastic results. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is quite simply to pay the price. Okay, you've got to pay the price. You've got to get up and you've got to actually pay it. Now, if I go out into a car dealership and I say, hey, do you know, I want that car, I like that car, I know I want it, I know what the price is, I'm willing to pay it, but I never actually hand over the check. That car doesn't become mine, does it? It's exactly the same with your other goals in life. You need to know exactly what you want, exactly why you want it, you need to know what the price is, you need to be willing to pay it, and then you've got to actually pay the price. You've got to take the money out of your wallet and pay it. Or you've got to put your sneakers on and go jogging. You've got to, you know, pay the price through not eating the foods that you want to eat. You've got to pay the price through spending more time on your relationships. There is a price to pay. And unfortunately, unlike what we would call the real world, there's no such thing as finance or hire purchase. You can't say, hey, well, can I have the goods and I'll pay for it later? It doesn't really work that way. What you have to do is pay the price in full up front. Okay, think about it. You don't say, I want to get fit, now you look fit, and 2 months later somebody says, okay, well now it's time for you to start jogging. Okay, what actually happens is you start jogging and you change your diet, and 2 months later you start to see some results. Okay, the price needs to be paid in full at the front end. Okay, so you've got to pay it. You've got to get out of bed earlier. You've got to work slightly later. You've got to take your partner out more often. Whatever the price is, you've got to pay it. Okay, so really setting goals is quite simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And this is where a lot of people make mistakes. Okay, they tend to think that because something is simple, it should be easy. Most of the simple things, a push-up is really, really simple. It's not a complex exercise. Okay, most people can't do one. Okay, goals are the same. You quite simply have to know exactly what you want, and that's difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know exactly what they want. They're very, very vague. Okay, it's time to get specific. You need to know exactly why you want it. In other words, you need to stop lying to yourself. Okay, stop lying to yourself about, I just want to lose a few pounds because I feel a little bit overweight. Okay, if you feel fat, ugly and unloved, then be honest to yourself. Okay, that's so important. With that honesty, with that truth, comes the real power to achieve the goal. Okay, know the price up front. Think to yourself, okay, if I'm going to go after this goal, if I'm going to pursue it, what's it going to cost me? That's so important, that way you won't get tripped up. Next, ask yourself, am I willing to pay that price? That actually sounds like quite a lot. What's the return on investment for me? Just like if you were handing over money for an object or a work of art or anything else, what is the return for you? And is the return worth it for the cost of what you're going to have to pay? Okay? And finally, pay the price. Get up every day and take the progressive steps toward achieving your goals. Okay? I promise you, if you take the steps I've just outlined, as simple as they may be, if you take them, you are going to achieve your goals. This has been Dax Moy with the Power Principles. Thank you very much for listening.